Welcome back to another video. Excalibur is the legendary sword of King Arthur, sometimes also attributed with magical powers or associated with the rightful sovereignty of Britain. Excalibur and the sword in the stone, the proof of Arthur's lineage, are sometimes said to be the same weapon, but in most versions they are considered separate. Excalibur was associated with the Arthurian legend very early on. In Welsh, it is called Caledfwlch, in Cornish, Calesvol, in modern Cornish, Calesvolg, in Breton, Caledvolc, and in Latin, Caliburnus. Let's know about the forms and etymologies of Excalibur. The name Excalibur ultimately derives from the Welsh Caledfwlch and Breton Caledvolc, Middle Cornish Calesvol, which is a compound of caled hard and bwlch breach, cleft. Caledfwlch appears in several early Welsh works, including the prose tale Culhwch and Olwen. The name was later used in Welsh adaptations of foreign material, such as the Bruts Chronicles, which were based on Geoffrey of Monmouth. It is often considered to be related to the phonetically similar Caladwal, a sword borne by several figures from Irish mythology, although a borrowing of Caledfwlch from Irish Caladwal has been considered unlikely by Rachel Bromwich and D. Simon Evans. They suggest instead that both names may have similarly arisen at a very early date as generic names for a sword. This sword then became exclusively the property of Arthur in the British tradition. Geoffrey of Monmouth, in his Historia Regum Britanniae, the history of the kings of Britain, c. 1136, Latinized the name of Arthur's sword as Caliburnus, potentially influenced by the medieval Latin spelling Calibs of classical Latin chalops, from Greek chalops steel. In the late 15th early 16th century Middle Cornish play Bunan's Key, Arthur's sword is called Calesvol, which is etymologically an exact Middle Cornish cognate of the Welsh Caledfwlch. It is unclear if the name was borrowed from the Welsh. If so, it must have been an early loan, for phonological reasons, or represents an early Pan-Brittonic traditional name for Arthur's sword. In Old French sources this then became Excalibur, Excalibur, and finally the familiar Excalibur. Geoffrey Gamer, in his Old French L'Histoire des Anglais, 1134-1140, mentions Arthur and his sword. This Constantine was the nephew of Arthur, who had the sword Caliburc. In Wace's Roman de Brut, c. 1150-1155, an Old French translation and versification of Geoffrey's Historia, the sword is called Calibrum, Caliborc, Chalabron, and Calabron, with variant spellings such as Chalabrum, Caliber, Caliber, Caliborn, Caliborc, and Excalibur, found in various manuscripts of the Brut. If you guys enjoyed this video, then do subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching the video. Take care. Peace out.